YouTube. Thought I'd try to talk about a couple topics today, maybe try to combine them. One is camaraderie in prison, and it's, you make very few friends in prison, and so ones you do make, you become very close to. There was a group of us that we came very close, and we became good friends, had each other's backs, and there's only a few of us because, there's only really a few people you can really say you trust in prison, if any. So when you do, that's a good thing, Sure, you have acquaintances and people you associate with, but there's only a few that you can really truly call friend, and that there's a bond that develops, and a closeness. You know that if you get into something, with a bunch of people or something, that they will have your back, no matter what, and there's always, there's joking, just clowning around, but the group I was with for a while, and John Evans, he's commented on here, he was one of them. We tried to better ourselves. When we went to the library, we picked out books that we could learn from. We didn't pick out like novels and stuff very often. It was always like historical books or self-improvement books, things like that. And like John mentioned in the comments there for a while, because we, a lot of people in prison cuss, and they cuss a lot, and we wasn't no exception. But so we started doing 10 push-ups every time we said a cuss word. And John Evans is the one who first started this. And it was funny when he first started because he was just doing them all the time. Then me and another guy, we started doing them with him, and really, if you think about it, many people use cuss words to replace other words, and a lot of times it's a lack of knowledge. You can talk just fine without cussing, and I still cuss sometimes, I've gotten back in the habit of doing it sometimes, but my point is, it's not really necessary. But anyway, we learned from one another. We even had some people on the outside helping us, but we learned from one another, and we did everything. We worked out together, There was a couple of them that really didn't want to work out, but they did anyway, because they wanted to be, you do things that sometimes that your friends like, just to help them out, and there was a couple of them that didn't like, I know they did not like working out, but they did it, and they had fun too, they made like a game out of it, but they did it because that's what, like, me and John wanted to do, that's what we did all the time, and we would have done it without them, they didn't have to go up there, but we was trying to tell them that not only should we be improving our minds, but our bodies too, and so that's what I wanted to say about that. So we kind of rehabilitated ourselves, you know, because you cannot depend on rehabilitation from the DOC. That's not going to happen. Those little 2, 3 week, 4 week programs they have, that's not rehabilitation, you know. Everybody always talks about rehabilitation in the DOC, and at least in Missouri, there is none. Maybe in the lower level camps there is some, but in the higher level, let me paint a scenario for you. Somebody young, teenager, comes to prison. He's got a lot of time to do. And during this time, they do not rehabilitate him. So they're not trying to prepare him for society. They're not trying to take away his criminal thinking, you know. And they're not teaching him any skills that he may use when he gets out. So, let's say he gets out in his 30s or 40s. After doing all that time, he's not rehabilitated. So, if he cannot get a job or anything, the first thing he's going to think about is doing something to get some money. He's going to have a hard time getting a job because he doesn't know anything. You know, most likely he will not know. He'll have no job skills or nothing, you know. So the DOC's saying they're rehabilitating us and everything, you know, prisoners. It's a joke. They really don't want to rehabilitate us because they want people to come back. Prison is a business, simple as that. It's money making business. They make money off the inmates. They make money through the courts everywhere, you know. They make money by asking for money from the government, you know. It's all about them making money. If less and less people went back to prison, they'd be losing money. So they don't want to rehabilitate people, really. You know, they give us these little 2 or 3 week programs and say they're mandatory, you know, and you go over there and what do you get out of it? Nothing, you know. And it's a business, money making business, and until they start rehabilitating people, until they start teaching these people, that at least the ones that are going to get out or have a chance of getting out, skills that they can use to maybe get a job, you're going to see people just continuing to go back to prison. Now let me ask you this. Would you rather somebody come out of prison, no job skills, no rehabilitation, and move in next to you? Would you rather have somebody come out that has been rehabilitated, has learned something in prison that's going to help him out here, and is trying his best to, you know, make it out here? That's what you got to ask yourself, you know, because personally, I've always wanted to be around people who want to help others and, you know, do good for themselves, you know, work hard and stuff. I'm not impressed by people who just go out and rob people, you know, for money and stuff. I like to see people do things, you know. So, but at the moment, any rehabilitation in the prisons is from the prisoners themselves. And I mean, even if they had rehabilitation in prison, it would still have to be up to the prisoner to be want to do that. You know, you're not gonna, you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, type of thing. You know, but at least they need to put it in there so they have the opportunity. You know, and so that's what I want you guys to think about when you hear about rehabilitation. That I just want you to know that there really isn't any, at least not in Missouri. I don't know about other states, you know, and I also know that in the lower level prisons they do teach skills to people, but somebody in a max prison gets his level dropped and goes to a lower level prison, like I did. I had 16 months when I got my date, and they sent me to Algoa. That's really not enough time, you know, especially when there's a long waiting list to even get into all these schools and classes they got, you know. So they need to have them in the higher level prisons, you know. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. You guys have a good day. Try to stay cool. Hit that like button if you like this video. Subscribe if you hadn't subscribed. Hit the notification bell. Hit all them buttons. All right, bye.